Welcome to Not Milk Never Milk. Subscribe if you're lactose intolerant.
You start by ensuring the target disk is ready and the firmware is correct. Backup data, then reboot into BIOS/UEFI and switch SATA to OSI. This prevents driver conflicts. Make sure Secure Boot and UEFI are enabled if installing Windows 11. Once done, recreate your USB installer with the Media Creation tool or Rufus set for GPT and UEFI. These steps address the most common mismatch errors that trigger the Windows cannot be installed on this drive message. Now you handle partition layout and drivers, which often block installation. Boot to the installer, press Shift plus F10, and run diskpart to list and clean the drive, then convert to GPT so Windows can create EFI and MSR partitions automatically. If you need to preserve partitions, shrink and create a proper NTFS primary partition instead. Also, if the installer reports missing drivers, click Load Driver and point to your motherboard or NVMe driver on a secondary USB. These finish by selecting the cleaned, correctly formatted NTFS partition and continue the Windows 11 installation. The installer will create required EFI and MSR partitions automatically. If you still get the same error, power down and reset SATA or NVMe cables, test with a different drive, and check for a motherboard firmware update that adds NVMe support. If nothing works, install to an alternate drive to isolate hardware versus configuration problems. This single test often tells you whether to replace hardware or reconfigure firmware.
Thanks for watching. If this was helpful, leave a like and consider subscribing. See you next time.